welcome Waitat to our Huddle interview. We're just trying to find out what MAD has been doing in since the lockout since the MCO has been announced. So why don't you introduce yourself a little bit for our viewers about yourself and your organization, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Waitat. Thanks for having us on board. I'm the secretary for the Malaysia Association of Dodgeball, and currently we are being locked down. So there's isn't any activities at the moment, but just more of updating our policies and preparing for our AGM. I think that's probably what we could probably do indoors.
Okay, sick. And how has the work from home treated you guys? Has MAD ever worked from home before yet, or is this you guys first time, or how is it?
Truth be told is that we usually work from home. Because being an association, we do have a couple of offices that we can go to, but most of the time, because everyone's on a volunteer basis, so we actually do work from home more often than not.
Okay. So you guys are really used to this process of actually working from home and getting things done on your own time, kind of stuff, lah.
That's right. As long as we meet the deadlines given by the committees, and then when we have, if we do need to meet up, it will probably be like a discussion or having some dialogue before we can confirm certain things. Then we have to press in with a proper official meetings. So that's usually very how do you call it, at our own time, but then based on the association's deadlines for all these projects and stuff.
Right, fair. Okay. And do you mind if I ask, like, how big a team is MAD?
Well, the national body right now has got 12 state affiliates. So we have got 12 state associations that's working with us. So generally, there are actually two people representing each state that is actually working with us at the national level. And then we have got our executive board and the council members that is made up of 13 people from different parts of Malaysia. So that will be 24 plus 13. So that's
37.
37 of us.
Okay, fair enough. That's a really big association. I assume you guys are well run as well, since you guys have this work from home stretch, so you guys are not really affected by whatever's happening now. So I just want to know, like, I knew you guys had activities planned out for the year. You guys have an annual calendar and stuff, right? So what were the things that, like, did anything have to go under? Did anything have to get suspended due to this?
Well, there's quite a lot that has been suspended and in fact cancelled. Well, the first program that the national body wanted was to organize the Asia Pacific Dodgeball Championship. That was supposed to be run in April. So we have got the venue confirmed. We have got like 55 teams, foreign teams that is going to come from Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Brunei, Iran, India, so on and so forth. They were all confirmed, but due to this virus, we had to cancel this event. So that's a big hit on us. And then there is also our National Dodgeball Championship, which is currently still ongoing, but it has to be put on hold. Sorry, that's what I meant. It was put on hold because of this movement control. And there was also a recent discussion we had with the World Dodgeball Federation, where we would also be facing the same issue as the Tokyo Olympics 2020, where it would be pushed to 2021.
Yes.
So our World Dodgeball Championship in Glasgow is going to be pushed to 2021.
Okay. That's big news. That's big news for us, especially the Asia Pacific one, like, considering how many teams were already registered and confirmed. But what were some of the things that MAD as an organization had to consider before, ultimately having to follow the mandate, the MCO that the ministry announced? Did you guys consider anything else? Did you guys stop it maybe before they even announced the MCO?
Well, we actually had a few discussion of this issue, and I would like to maybe share our experience with the Asia Pacific Dodgeball event that we were supposed to schedule it on April 23rd to 28th.
Yep.
That event, we actually got some sort of discussion with the Asia Pacific committee members, from different nations, and this was the cancellation of the Asia Pacific Dodgeball Championship was called way before this movement order was actually issued.
Ooh.
We actually coordinated it in March, a month before the event. So it was around March 24th. We actually made the official announcement to the teams that we are actually canceling this event.
Sorry, just to clarify, you mean February 24th, right?
March 24th.
Okay. So March 24th, you announced that you're canceling.
Sorry, in February. I got my dates mixed up. Oh, sorry. Yeah. We actually announced it in February, and we had a mix. We had actually a mixed review on this because when this virus actually hits the world, it actually hits the Southeast Asia first. So there were already cases in Malaysia and Singapore, but there weren't much cases in Australia and New Zealand and the oceanic region.
Yeah.
So we did had some sort of a debate to know, it's going to be sad to cancel the event, but at the same time, was it really an issue? Was it really that bad? Right? But now we know that it's actually horrible. It's actually quite scary what this virus is actually doing.
Correct.
But the severity of the information was not sent across to the part of other part of the world where we had this mixed review of should we cancel it and why we actually took so long to make the decision.
Right, I see. And I imagine it's hard as well because a lot of these teams confirmed their participation, maybe even paid for registration already, and they were looking forward so much to actually come and participate in the.
You are so right. We actually have received all the registration fees from teams, right? And I also know personally from a few teams that has already booked the tickets and has already got the accommodations, but none of these are refundable, or at least what I was told by the participants that they can't get a refund. So we actually had to make that awful decision to cancel the event in February. So that was a quick move that we actually made so that we hope that the teams would not lose so much more money in terms of all these refunds and booking.
True, that's true. And
Meng, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought Rezan here, and yeah, that's really commendable that you guys were able to make that decision quickly and ahead of the curve. I'm just curious from the decision-making standpoint. Was there anything that compelled you guys to make that decision so early on, and was it also a decision from the Malaysia and the MAD side, or was it a committee decision amongst the APAC participants?
Well, we first had our discussion internally with the Asia Pacific Secretariat team, whether we should still continue with this. And that discussion happened in January. So we weren't sure how severe was this event, but our counterpart, which was from Hong Kong, actually thought that it was quite severe, and they are relating that matter to SARS. Now, I did not have much information about this virus. I had to search and find out information about it. We knew that I would say that the government did a good job at the first wave of just maintaining the numbers to a low. We recently had this this second wave, right? But the truth to be told that we actually took a step forward to stop this virus from happening because of recommendation from Hong Kong. So we knew that they couldn't come, and they were one of those teams that we would really like them to be there because they are one of the key members, the key players of dodgeball within Asia Pacific. And we also had teams from Iran that might have problems coming during that time. And then we start to see in the month of January and February, you start to see countries are starting to raise travel restrictions. So that causes a lot of confusion, like Singapore couldn't travel, and Malaysia wouldn't want to accept players or tourists from Hong Kong, China.
Correct.
So we had that issue. So we had a couple of issues. But I'm glad that we actually made that decision together, that we ultimately had to cancel this event to prevent actually the players from spending more money, and also to give a better answer to all the sponsors that we actually had on hand.
Yes, and I mean, good job to the Malaysian government so far, and it's good job to you guys as well for making the right decision at that time, although maybe unpopular, but the right decision to actually cancel the event. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because sport, like as a whole, right? I mean, not so much in dodgeball maybe, but like in sports in general, like it's usually a contact thing. You be touching other players, and the sweat and a lot of bodily fluids are in exchange there. So I just don't know what will happen now, even when everything dies down and the situation starts to improve. Maybe the MCO gets lifted. Like, do you think participants are willing to like get out straight away and start playing again, or do you think they'll be more cautious in terms of?
I'm always the optimistic one. Right, so I would like to imagine that once this MCO has been lifted, everyone will be like, yeah, let's go out, let's get our life back, let's do some things together, and to have this to get everyone closer together instead of this social distancing
Right.
thing.
Yes.
But I do think that maybe there will be some who are still worried that the virus might be still around, they still linger here and there, so they might not have it. But we will have two school of thoughts. But from my perspective, it will be as soon as the government lifts MCO, let's just go out.
That's true, and it's because like everyone's stuck at home now and not being able to do whatever they love so much, like go run or go play basketball or play dodgeball or stuff like that. But would you guys be taking steps to kind of maybe help with this? Like, for example, maybe slowly roll out your NDC games or slowly roll out your tournament schedules again, or will you guys be full force, just resume activity as normal?
Oh, I can't answer that question because I think that is definitely one of the topic in our next meeting with the council members to see how we want to progress. And then on this issue, we also need to discuss with our competition committee and our NDC secretary team to determine how are we going to push forward. And then we will also need information from the World Dodgeball Federation in terms of the timeline for when the World Championship is going to be held. So we actually move our program in conjunction with their itineraries.
True. And you mentioned just now that the World Dodgeball Championships might be even postponed to 2021, right? So how does that actually throw a wrench into, I don't know, how does it throw a wrench into the annual schedule that you guys had initially come up with?
Bad luck. I think that's just one word to say it. But we just have to adapt and make several changes because I think this is not MAD's decision alone. This is the community's decision. This also has to be a decision discussed at regional and then at the world level to see how things are going. We are pretty much not sure right now. That's as much I could say.
Right. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, you can't answer what you don't know. So I'm just gonna move on to like the second last question here. As a association, a governing association of dodgeball in Malaysia, do you guys have any advice for like you guys have national athletes to everyday, just everyday average Joes, right? So do you guys have any advice for those who are stuck at home? And do you guys provide any help to them? Maybe any kind of resources to refer to during this MCO?
Actually, there's one part that I don't think we had anything done on much on that part, to be honest. We have just talked internally within our state association in terms of this is what we could be doing and this is what we should be talking to discuss. But we have not really stepped into that question at the moment. But my personal advice to all the athletes first, for all our athletes, or in fact anyone, just stay at home first.
Yeah.
Just wait for this thing to get over. We need to stop this thing from spreading. And then we will eventually come out. We will have our life back again. Dodgeball is going to be there. We are still going to be there to develop the sports. The sports will not die, but we would like you all to be safe. The players and everyone, our community to be safe, and they would continue to be playing with us for a longer period of time.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And I mean, it's hard as well because this MCO just came so suddenly, right? And then you guys have to start amending the schedules and discuss a lot of other things as well. So it's tough as well. But on maybe MAD side, is there anything that you guys would want to post to the general public? Any questions that you want to, any feedback that you want to get from them maybe about how MAD is conducting this?
Well, they can definitely drop us a note, and they could advise us in terms of what we could be probably doing.
Okay.
We actually kind of appreciate some messages that we actually received from the community to request us to stop the National Dodgeball Championship from running because of this program. So we had a hard time because we had to weigh in the rentals, the schedule that was booked by all these venues and all these contracts and stuff like that. So that was a bit of a discussion that we had, but I was very grateful to KBS and also to the Ministry of Health because they issued letters that made our job much easier. Yes. So it became more like more like a advisory that we should stop it, and it came from the respective kementerian.
Correct. That's true. I think that's it for today. I think from what we've heard, MAD has done a very good job in limiting this spread and making the right decisions at the right times. So any other questions from you, Han?
No, not for me. I think that's great. I think just on behalf of us and everyone else in the community, I thought we all know how long you've been involved in the scene and in dodgeball and growing the sport and everything. So we just want to take the opportunity to thank you for your involvement. And then during a time like this, it's important to have good people that know what they're doing to lead all the associations. So thank you for that, and thank you for taking the time.
Hey, welcome, Rezan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you.